I will call to order the Village of Westmont Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for November 11th, 2009. May we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Thomas?
Here.
Commissioner Pill?
Here.
Commissioner Fleet?
Here.
Commissioner Fidesco? Commissioner Anton?
Here.
Commissioner Van Buren is here, and Chairman Richard.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Right, if you would please all rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I need to, while you're standing, everybody in the audience, if you give any testimony tonight, you have to be sworn in. So I swear that any testimony I give this evening will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
I do.
Okay, and I would ask that silence any paging devices if you have them,
Phones?
and telephones, and, okay. First item of business is the approval of the minutes of October 14th. May I have a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Want to do that again so I can catch it?
Wow.
Motion by Commissioner Pill, seconded by Commissioner Thomas. Duly noted.
Oh.
Question on the motion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Pill?
Yes.
Commissioner Fleet?
Yes.
Commissioner Anton?
Yes.
Commissioner Van Buren votes yes, and Chairman Richard.
Yes. Okay, under new business, planning and zoning item 09024, Mark Samko of FMHC Corporation for Clearwire Sprint regarding the property located at 328 South Wilmette for the following. A, zoning code variance request to permit more than 3 antennas on a structure. B, zoning code variance request to permit an equipment shelter in the required front yard setback.
I'm not Mark Samko. My name is Kim Klein. I'm also with FMHC, and Sprint and Clear Wireless LLC hired us to basically do site acquisition and leasing, which means new build sites and adding antennas to different municipalities around the greater Chicago area and Chicagoland area. Clear Wireless LLC is a telecommunications company that's majority owned by Sprint. So basically, Sprint, Clear Wireless are affiliated entities, and Sprint is behind the whole 4G network, or they're currently rolling out the 4G network, which, if you're familiar with 3G, is a data transmission service, and it's basically a faster, better, more reliable service, and is supposed to bring better, faster, more reliable service to your customers who use Sprint. The purpose of this project is Sprint already has some existing 4G antennas up there. They'd like to add 3 more to enhance the services for this area. There's a lot of customers in this area that they'd like to serve. And the addition of 2 microwave dishes. And what the microwave dishes do is they actually enhance the 4G antennas. So the 4G antennas are actually introducing additional 4G services to the area, but the 2 microwave dishes enhance those because they communicate point to point, and they just allow for a faster and wider bandwidth. So basically, the purpose of this project is they'd like to build a new equipment shelter on the ground, add 3 more panel antennas, a GPS antenna, and 2 microwave dishes. And the purpose of that, of course, is to bring additional income to the Village of Westmont and also bring better service to your residents who use Sprint 4G network services. The antennas and the dishes are going to be installed on the railing. I'm sure you're familiar with the other kinds of panel antennas. They're 42-inch panel antennas. The dishes, one's 12-inch, one is 24-inch. They're going to be dispersed throughout the railing. We had a structural done by our engineering consultants, and they found that the loads presented by the antennas and the dishes were adequate and that there weren't going to be any structural issues. They'll be installed at 90 feet, which is where your railing is set with the other antennas. The equipment shelter will be situated on a steel platform, and they're going to pour a new concrete pad and run coax cable up and down one of the legs, which is consistent with what's already there. One thing that Shannon mentioned in terms of the coax cable is you'd like to see it better integrated into the surface of the water tank. And they're not opposed to using white interduct. In the event that they can't, one thing that I was asked to propose, if they do paint it, and I'm guessing one of the reasons you might object to painting the coaxial cable is because there's no routine maintenance of the painting. They'd be willing to commit to a maintenance schedule if they couldn't get the white interduct cable. So that's up to you in terms of, you know, what you think you could ultimately live with. And, you know, concurrent with this installation, I'll be negotiating with John a license agreement that will bring you revenue based on the addition of these 3 antennas in the dishes.
All right. Is there anybody from the public who will comment on this? Hearing no comment, let's start with Commissioner Fleet.
The existing cables that run up and down are black. And just throwing out for the commissioner's thought is throwing another color. If we're throwing white on there, as opposed to something that might closely match the tank, so there's not 3 colors on the tank, just as a thought. Shannon, do you have any thoughts on the closeness of the new ground structure to the fence line?
I believe that it was separated the 10 feet. Was that? Do you have that information, Kim?
Yeah, I show it on the construction drawings as it's within, let's see. Let me pull
Typically,
up.
there's a 10-foot separation between these types of structures. There is the corner side yard setback variance, but provided that the separation is in place, there wasn't an issue in terms of placement other than that variance.
And exactly how far are we off the property line with this?
Approximately 15 feet, where code requires 35.
And I didn't get out there today, but the fence along that line and the other parts of the fence, it has the slats in it, the privacy slats, and we're covered with that there too?
Correct.
Okay, thanks. I have no further questions.
Commissioner Van Buren?
I don't see any problem. I haven't noticed the color of the wire going up the tower as of now, and I probably won't notice if there's a difference, if there's 1 or 2 more antennas or dishes on it. So I really don't have a problem with this.
Commissioner Anton?
I agree. I don't have a problem with this. I just don't think a white wires would really match in there. I mean, if everything's black, leave it black. I don't think an extra color is necessary, but that's all I have.
Commissioner Pill?
My question was on the color. Are you able to elaborate why you'd want to switch to white? Is it to gradually transition everybody to white?
Correct. There was a preliminary discussion internally with Glenn Liljeberg in the IT department as well. Depending on the water department's long-term phasing, I guess these contracts are auto-renewed. I had brought up the idea of possibly working some language in so that when equipment replacements would be done over time, they would then be brought into the lighter color. I think this is one of those things where it kind of got away from us over time, and more antennas have been added, more and more interduct has been added, and it may take a while to restore the aesthetic of that tower, but this is one strategy to try to do that over the long term.
It's an interesting concept because in and of themselves, the antennas are somewhat of an eyesore to start with. So we're discussing levels of eyesore, I guess, perhaps. But I can see if the long-term plan is to gradually transition and to go forward with that, and if that's the color scheme or so that we've chosen, I don't have a problem with that. I support the whole project and would vote for it. I have no further questions.
Commissioner Thomas?
Does Sprint have a shed now supporting the existing antennas?
They do,
And the second one is needed?
exactly, for the additional.
You can't use the first shed or?
No, I think that the engineers have found that in terms of, because they're putting up 5 antennas, that they'd like a separate equipment shelter for it. So that's usually not my call, but the engineers have found, to the extent that it's permissible, they would like to do that. And I imagine they're preserving room for possibly someday, expanding, assuming the Village of Westmont, will be on board with that.
5G.
Right. Maybe they'll come up with an antenna that's less, obtrusive.
Well, they probably in the future, everything does get smaller.
Hopefully, right. I'd like
That's all
to
I
see
have.
that.
Okay, as per color, I really don't care one way or the other, but you can work that out with staff to the trustees to decide on the final color, whether you want a ductwork or not. I did have one question. Do you have any 4G antennas up there now, or is this going to be completely new?
No, actually, there are some existing 4G antennas up there.
So you're just
that
going to
Sprint
supplement
has.
them?
Exactly.
And the GPS then will be for the cell phones?
Exactly.
Okay, and then your microwave, is that from cell site to cell site? Is that what you're
Microwave
telling
dishes speak point to point, so they're pointed at a particular angle to talk to another microwave dish,
You're
within a
tying
certain.
sites together is what you're doing.
Exactly, and it's supposed to take some of the load off the panel antenna so that the data is transmitted faster.
Okay. No, that's the only question I have.
Okay.
Nothing further? Okay. Since we do have a request for a variance, we need a reading of the findings of fact, if you would, Sharon. Shannon, I'm sorry.
It's okay. The property in question cannot yield a reasonable return if permitted to be used only under the conditions allowed by the regulations in the district in which it is located. Without this variance, applicant would need to construct a new land tower to house the proposed antennas and related equipment, which would be cost prohibitive for the benefit gained. Other companies have received similar variances to place their antenna structures and equipment on the village's water tower.
If you agree with these findings, please raise your hand. Unanimous in agreement?
Criteria number 2, the plight of the owner is due to unique circumstances. The village's water tower currently is host to numerous communication system antennas and equipment, and it would be cost prohibitive for applicant to purchase or lease land for the construction of a new tower for this purpose.
If you agree with this, please raise your hand. We are unanimous in agreement.
Criteria number 3, the variation, if granted, will not alter the essential character of the locality. The village's elevated water tank is well suited for hosting the antennas and equipment proposed by applicant, and the water tower currently is host to 15 pre-existing antennas. The antennas are not unsightly in comparison to the size of the water tower and will not alter the essential character of the area.
If you agree with these, please raise your hand. We are unanimous in agreement. The findings of fact for a variance are hereby adopted. I would recommend motion to recommend approval to the Board of Trustees. Item A, a zoning code variance request to permit more than 3 antenna on a structure.
So moved?
Second. Motion by Commissioner Pill, seconded by Commissioner Anton. Question on the motion? May we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Pill?
Yes.
Commissioner Fleet?
Yes.
Commissioner Anton?
Yes.
Mr. Van Buren votes yes. The remission by Chairman Richard.
Yes. All right.
Do I get to vote?
Mr. Thomas?
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
Now it's unanimous.
You never did like him, did you?
I don't either.
Okay, since we have another variance request, we need a reading of the findings of fact, if we could, please.
Criteria number 1, the property in question cannot yield a reasonable return if permitted to be used only under the conditions allowed by the regulations in the district in which it's located. Applicant's ground equipment shelter will be located adjacent to existing shelters owned by other applicants, and this shelter will be screened from public view by a fence. This is the only suitable ground location if applicant's antennas are placed on the village's water tower. Applicant cannot yield a reasonable return without this variance, in that applicant would have to construct a separate land tower for its antennas and related ground equipment.
If you agree with these findings, please raise your hand. Unanimous in agreement?
Criteria number 2, the plight of the owner is due to unique circumstances. Similar variances have been granted to other companies for the placement of their ground equipment shelters in the same area. The proposed ground equipment shelter will not be visible to the public.
If you agree with this, please raise your hand. Unanimous in agreement?
Criteria number 3, the variation, if granted, will not alter the essential character of the locality. The ground equipment shelter is the minimal size necessary, consistent with other existing ground equipment shelters, and will be generally screened from view. As a result, the granting of this variance will not alter the essential character of the area.
If you agree with this, please raise your hand. We are unanimous in agreement. The findings of fact for a variance are hereby adopted. Item B, I would entertain a motion to recommend approval to the Board of Trustees, a zoning code variance request to permit an equipment shelter in the required front yard setback.
So move.
Second.
That's a motion by Commissioner Fleet, seconded by Commissioner Anton. Question on the motion? May we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Fleet,
Yes.
Commissioner Pill,
Yes.
Commissioner Anton,
Yes.
Commissioner Van Buren votes yes, Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
and Commissioner Pill,
Yes again.
Chairman Richard.
Yes. Okay, you have our recommendation for approval, and staff can tell you when you'll go before the Committee of the Whole for the Village Trustees on a Thursday evening,
Okay,
and good luck to you.
thank you so much. Looks like 7:40's on the dot.
You were paying attention.
He holds a gavel, it doesn't look fair.
Yes, I know. Next item on the agenda, Planning and Zoning 09025, Art Wondrasek of Electric Car Outlet regarding the property located at 233 West Ogden for the following. A special use permit request to allow the sale of electric golf carts. Please, sir, if I may, I have to swear you in that any testimony I give this evening shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Yes, it will be.
Okay.
And I'm Mark Baumhart. I'm here for Art Wondrasek.
What is your name, sir?
My name is Mark Baumhart. I'm here for Art Wondrasek.
Shannon, do you want the name written down, or?
I have it, thank you.
You have, okay. Please,
Thank
sir, if you would.
Thanks for considering our petition. Mr. Wondrasek is, he actually had to travel out of the country, and I'm his real estate broker. I've worked with Art for the past 15 years. And we've identified a location in Westmont where we would like to open up his newest location for selling electric golf carts. He has 6 other locations across the country. He lives here in the Chicago area, and most of the sales that he has right now, stores where he has, are warmer climates. What we think that will capture the market here in this Westmont area is to, number one, to factories, people using carts to bring people around in their factories. Also to the new casino that is opening up. He targets casinos, colleges, universities, and also to the private and public golf course communities here, not communities, I should say, golf businesses in the area too. And we like the Ogden Avenue location because of its proximity to all the, well, it has good demographics for population, for wealth, for all the car lots that are down on Ogden Avenue, and it has good visibility. It's a pretty simple operation. I don't know if Shannon, you had given everyone the brochures.
Yes, it's in their packets.
Not a limited number of products, and they come assembled. The only thing that would be doing any type of service or assembly on that would be if somebody wanted any options on the golf cart, like a extra radio or any type of accessory would be installed there. But that's just a showroom.
Would it be possible to get a Rodney Dangerfield golf cart?
For everyone here, you get 2.
Wow, nice.
Okay, seeing no one in the audience, we'll close the public comment, and we'll start with Commissioner Thomas, if you would.
So when I first read this, before I heard your presentation, I didn't understand what niche you were going for. These supposed to be driving around the neighborhoods in these carts, or
Right, no.
couldn't picture them driving down Ogden,
Correct.
but you're making more sense now with the factories and colleges and.
Yeah, factories, colleges, and also too, Chicago being close to Milwaukee, close to being to St. Louis, close to being in other large communities too. It's a good central location for this business. But they're not intended for street use, no. But there are, like for example, in Florida where they are, people buy them in the golf course communities. They have their own cart and they drive around in those communities. It's not the case here.
That's all I have.
Commissioner Pill?
Are there any plans to do anything to the exterior of the building?
There is there's, the last tenant there was in the home addition business, and we're requesting the landlord to remove that, the front there, and put it back to its original condition. But other than that, there's no other plans, no.
Color and everything would stay basically the same?
Yes.
No further questions.
Commissioner Anton?
You'll see me going down I-1. Wait till summertime.
I've seen you go down.
That sounds like a great idea.
Okay, good, thank you.
Good luck with it.
Thank you,
Commissioner Van Buren?
I agree, so.
thank you.
Commissioner Fleet?
Now, how about road tests? What, you know, customer wants to come in, and what are you gonna do?
Really, if somebody wanted to drive it, it's not, wouldn't be legal on the road, I would say. That building is about 7,800 square feet, about 3,000 square feet of its showroom, the rest of it is warehouse. You certainly could drive it there, you could drive in the parking lot. I think you get a pretty good feel for, you know, the capabilities are somewhat limited. You know, they'll go a certain speed and they turn a certain way, but I think you could accomplish that on site.
Okay, so you're not gonna be, well, certainly not on Ogden Avenue, but
No.
coming down Park Avenue, you're not gonna be,
No.
you're not gonna be into the
No, sir.
population areas.
Yeah.
How about signage out of hours of operation?
Hours of operation will be Monday through Saturday, probably 9 to 6. Signage is a good question that we didn't ask for a variance for any signage, and I think we'll just comply with what signage you have. If we have to come back later for a variance, we would do that, but right now we're not asking for any special variance for signage.
And deliveries and pickup of, because you send them out for repair in South Carolina?
No, they come in from overseas. They're assembled in South Carolina, and then they're shipped directly here. So as far as a repair, the most repair that they have, unless somebody damages it, would be really batteries. Unless they did something and they crashed into something, that wouldn't be accommodated here. There's no technician or anything like that on site for that.
So what sort of trucks deliver these?
Probably semi trucks, and we'd have to cart them, get them off with a scissor jack or something off the truck into the building.
On site?
I'm sorry.
On site?
Yes, on site. There's a drive-in door on the side of the building, and there's 2 drive-in doors in that building.
There's a back alley.
We would put a lot of inventory in it right away. It wouldn't be a daily, not even probably even a weekly delivery. It's not a. We don't turn over the inventory that quickly, although we'd love to.
So there's sort of, well, would you be offloading on Park Street or on your driveway apron along Park Street?
Well, the truck would pull in the driveway into the parking lot and be offloaded there, and then there's a drive-in door that would be delivered into the building via that drive-in door.
Okay.
You wouldn't really have any outdoor inventory, would you?
No, there'd be 6, maybe 5 or 6 parked in the front, but they'd be brought in every night because
Yeah.
they are something that they're light enough somebody could pick up and steal.
Sure.
There's no outside storage,
Right,
no.
right.
Do you have one of these?
Do I? No, I do not. I do not.
Just wondering.
How would you be unloading the delivery vehicle? Did you say on a scissor jack?
Well, I'm not sure. That's a good. It depends on the truck that comes in. Would have to either have a lift, a gate
ramp.
that drops down because it's not a truck level high building.
Okay, right.
So we'd have to have. I'd imagine this probably the trucks that would come in would be for this building would have to have a lift, a gate that would goes down.
Yeah. I would expect at least, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no further questions from.
Well, thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Do the new car sales in the state of Illinois, where you close on Sunday, is that why you don't have Sunday hours, or?
That's not why, but I'm not sure if that would even apply. But that's not why. It's just was no intention to be open on Sundays for this product. But I don't know about that actually. It's a good question.
Okay.
I guess it would be dependent on whether they are required to have an automobile dealer's license from the state. And if they
No.
do, then they would have to comply with that Sunday
Right.
sales restriction. If not, then they wouldn't have
Yeah.
to comply.
Well, what was his qualification to be here for special use? This isn't automotive.
That's how staff classified it.
Yeah. We tried to sneak in without doing it because we wanted to open up on November 1st. So
I have no further questions. John, do you have anything?
Just maybe a few comments or questions. It's a special use. The village, by ordinance, can impose special conditions, as you typically do with auto dealers and other uses where there could be an adverse impact or aesthetic impact. I think the applicant answered all of the questions I had about what special conditions could be built into an ordinance, such as the display of the golf carts. There's going to be maybe up to 6 in the front, 12.5 feet, which is behind the building setback line, so we don't have any encroachment into the front yard, and those vehicles will be moved indoors at nighttime because it's a potential theft hazard. You won't otherwise be using your parking stalls
No.
for vehicle display, is that correct?
No, that's correct.
There are no repairs on site other than battery replacement?
Correct. Yeah.
No assembly, the deliveries you talked about, I really think, and no test driving, those were probably the only conditions, special conditions that I came up with.
I would ask, what do you intend to do in inclement weather?
As far as having the product outside,
Showing the vehicles outside, you're not going to be looking for an awning to park them under or something?
no,
or-
no, we're not. No, we're not going to be asking for an awning. They can handle. They're not going to get damaged other than getting wet. They can handle being outside. They're designed for that too. We're not going to ask for any special shelter or anything else like that, though. No.
Okay. That's all I have. Any further questions? Shannon, do you have anything you care to?
I can make a few general remarks regarding
Please.
some of the comments that all of the commissioners have had. The facade that was mentioned, that was part of the Four Seasons sunroom, I believe that at the time that that was approved, the business owner and the property owner were aware that that would need to come down when the business changed over.
I was
So-
going to ask you about that actually.
Yeah, the applicant's comment that they're requesting the landowner to remove it is in line with what the agreement was at the time. Also, in terms of the roadworthiness of these vehicles, according to Illinois state statutes, they can't go on roads that are higher than 35 miles per hour, and they're only allowed on roads under very limited circumstances. The units have to be equipped with turn signals and headlamps, brake lights, be insured, and a number of other criteria. I think the question of signage also came up, and the business will be entitled to 2 signs as a corner lot. And I think that the building frontage is about 48 feet, so they'd be looking at just under 100 square feet total, in total signage. That's all I have, unless you have further questions.
Would these type of vehicles, I would presume that might be like in a sunset-y type environment, like what we have on Route 47 in Huntley?
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Del Webb.
Del Webb. Yeah. We're correct.
Okay.
Yeah. We think a big portion will be if you go through any large manufacturing facilities, they've got a lot of, golf carts or, to go visit, tour the plant or other than that. There's quite a bit of that in the whole Chicago area too.
All right. No further questions, since we have a special use.
Get good tasting food, that's all I know.
I left my phone at his place. Thank you.
We need a reading of the findings of fact, if we could have that, please.
Criteria number 1, the proposed use at this location will not have any adverse effects above and beyond those inherently associated with such a special use, irrespective of its location within the zoning district. This use is similar to the existing automobile dealerships located along Ogden Avenue in the general vicinity of the property. Provided special conditions are imposed regarding vehicle display, repairs, storage, and test drives, this proposed use will not have any adverse effects at this location compared to any other location in the B2 General Business District.
If you agree with these findings, please raise your hand. We are unanimous in agreement.
Criteria number 2, the proposed use meets the special conditions of Special Condition 7. Vehicles awaiting service or customer pickup will not be located outside, therefore a special landscape plan screening such vehicles is not required. Applicant complies with the special condition number 7 and that all vehicles awaiting service or customer pickup shall be enclosed.
If you agree with this, please raise your hand. We are unanimous in agreement. The findings of fact for a special use are hereby adopted. Under Planning and Zoning Item 09025, Item A, I would entertain a motion to recommend approval to the Board of Trustees a special use permit request to allow the sale of electric golf carts.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Thomas, seconded by Commissioner Anton. Question on the motion? May we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Anton?
Yes.
Commissioner Van Buren votes yes. Commissioner Thomas?
Yes?
Commissioner Pill?
Yes.
Commissioner Fleet?
Yes.
And Chairman Richard.
Yes. All right, sir, you
Thank
have
you.
our
Thank you
recommendation.
very much.
And staff can tell you when we'll have a
Great.
Thursday evening committee of the whole, and I wish you all the luck of the world.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Shannon, I believe you had something you wanted to say to us about the Monday night meeting?
Yes, I just wanted to just make a couple of general remarks about the fact that there was a joint meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission and Village Board this past Monday evening to discuss the 1998 comprehensive plan and then our strategy moving forward for a possible rewrite. The meeting went very well, and at this point, staff is going to begin the process of drafting a request for qualifications, and then it will be scheduled to appear before this body at its December meeting, and before the village board at committee of the whole, before the end of the year.
And then we were going to get to see the RFQ, I believe, at probably our
At your
next,
December meeting.
our December
Right.
meeting. Okay. Any other questions on that?
Yeah, I got a
Any
question. on
further
that.
business?
Are you
Please.
gonna start putting subcommittees together soon to get this going, sooner than,
The RFQ process was to be initiated at the staff level, and then it will be brought back for approval to this group, and then again to the village board. I believe that after that would go out, and we would start determining whether or not consultants will be retained. That would be at the point where we would discuss any subcommittee, or if the commission will be the body that will be carrying out the process.
no, Commissioner Pill's interested, so am I.
In the past, it's all been done by this commission, so.
Thank you. Drawing upon the considerable expertise and depth of knowledge that the board has, I think we could handle it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any further? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Pill, seconded by Commissioner Anton. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.